tell us your delivery story.
So, on Mother's Day, I was 23 and 6, and I started bleeding. So I went to the closest emergency room, which was Wakeman and Cary. They took one look at me, immediately contacted transport for me, and sent me up to the big Wakeman Raleigh, because I was actually leaking amniotic fluid. I had a rupture and abruption, and even though my fluid was running low, I was still doing okay. So the hope was that they could stop the labor. I didn't even know I was in labor, but they wanted to stop the labor, hopefully keep me on hospital bed rest in the antepartum unit, and then hopefully keep me here for until I was 34 weeks, when it would be better to have her out than in. I made it 5 days. During that time, I went into labor 2 more times, and after the second time, they told me they wouldn't stop it again. And about 4:15 in the morning on Friday the 13th, actually, my husband woke up because I could not stay still in bed. They contacted the doctor, who came in, said, "Oh, yeah, by the way, you're fully dilated. Baby's coming right now." And about 45 minutes later, I had a baby. The worst part of it for me was that they kept telling me to, to breathe, to do sort of rhythmic breathing that I had not had classes for, I had not planned for. I was not prepared to be in labor having a baby. They were giving me instructions that an otherwise perfectly reasonable person probably could have followed, but I was incapable of following their instructions, just sort of in my panic. But she arrived, delivered in the operating room just in case, didn't need to have a C-section. Everything progressed as it was supposed to, and I was able to see her for about 5 seconds before they whisked her away to the NICU. I had 24 weeks, 5 days.
So tell us your NICU story.
I have to think about this. My face. So, we knew right away that she was going to be admitted to the NICU. Didn't really know what that meant, but she started off on a ventilator for about 12 hours, and then by probably about 5 p.m. they had moved her back into a different room, where we stayed for 102 days. Nothing actually big or major happened with her. She just sort of stayed. Didn't want to gain weight for a long time, didn't want to eat for a long time, didn't want to breathe on her own for a long time. She was really just sort of lazy, and had her own ideas about what she was and wasn't going to do. But I was fortunate enough to be able to be here every day. I did not end up staying overnight, but we were here all day, every day. Was here for rounds, had a chance to meet and talk to almost all the nurses, all the doctors, anybody who was involved in her care. Ask questions, get questions answered, and I pretty much just hung out, and really got to know my daughter, her preferences, how she was going to be, how she was going to act, when there was going to be a potential problem, that sort of thing. And it was sort of a bittersweet day after 102 days when we got to go home.
So tell us about what it was like when you went home.
The first probably 24 hours were the absolute worst. She did not sleep at all, not 1 second, from the second we got in the car here, until the following day after we went to her first pediatrician appointment. We left there, went to Chick-fil-A because we were starving. The second we walked into Chick-fil-A, she fell asleep. And what we realized was that she was so used to it being loud she was used to the noise. We left there, went straight to the store, bought a noise machine. That was the best money we have ever spent in our whole entire life. And to this day, she still sleeps with it. Otherwise, we were fairly fortunate that after this first 3 weeks or so, she woke up once in the middle of the night to eat. And then after about 3 weeks, she has been sleeping through the night consistently. So we have been able to sleep through the night consistently, which is really nice.
And what challenges did you have?
Challenges of going home was just figuring out what to do without somebody behind me, supporting me. I felt fortunate in that we were, sort of trained by nurses how to take care of our child. But now we're home, and do I remember that correctly? Is that really her hungry cry? Is that her something's wrong cry? Is that, do I need to call the pediatrician? Do I need to worry about what this is? So those have been some of those little things. Did I wait too long to call the pediatrician? Because oh, she's fine. It's just a little cough that has now turned into something else. And oh, wait, now she has ear infections. And the other challenge is part of it was being a working parent, and balancing work schedule with staying home taking care of her, because I'd already burned a good amount of leave being here for 102 days. So I'm trying to balance working from home, sort of tag teaming with my husband, and just making sure that she's getting the best care, and it's just sort of gets to grow and know that she's loved.
Tell us what you wish you'd known.
I wish I had known that the NICU was a thing. When I found out that I was in labor and I was right at 24 weeks, I didn't even know that survival at 24 weeks was a possibility. And when they told me they were going to put me in an ambulance and send me up to a different hospital, because where I was didn't have the NICU to be able to support a baby born at 24 weeks. I just sort of assumed that every hospital had a NICU and all NICUs were created equal, and as it turns out, they're not. But being put into an ambulance in the middle of the night and taken someplace else, and then having this wide variety of people coming to explain what will happen when you're in the NICU, or what could possibly happen. Having social workers visit you, and neonatologists visit, and nurses and different people coming to say, well, this could be a thing, but we're not sure what's going to happen because your baby's not here yet. I know there's no real way to prepare for all of that, but I do like to have as much information as possible, and I had to cram as much information as possible into the 5 days that I was here before she was born.
So tell us how your baby's doing now.
Malia is actually great. She just turned 7 months actual, which puts her about 3.5 months corrected. She loves to eat, loves to laugh, really loves to eat. She loves to sleep too, so we're lucky. She's sort of a perfect little couch potato. But she's just happy as she can be. She did qualify for Synagis, so the RSV shot, and we do that now every month for the next few months until the season's over. So besides sort of your run-of-the-mill diaper rash and ear infection, she's been doing great.
How old is she now?
She's 7 months actual, so about 3.5 months corrected. And she is probably about halfway between, so she's probably developmentally about a 5.5 month old or so.